Hey guys, so we have a question here from Spooky94 regarding a potential IPB setup on the pound Canadian dollar weekly chart. I was going through my weekly analysis that I do over the weekends on the weekly charts, and this did pop out to me, and I was wondering if someone was going to bring this up. This is clearly a setup I would never take. One of the reasons were pretty smartly outlined by Spooky here. He says that the first trouble area is way too close, and I'm glad to see this. It just shows that Spooky here is doing well with support and resistance levels. Okay, so 1.58. Look at this: bar high, bar low, all lining up at the 1.58 region here, marking the first trouble area for a potential trade here. For those of you who are watching or who are coming across the term of IPB for the first time, I'm just going to quickly go on to say that we basically trade IPBs in the way that we enter at the close of the bar itself. The stop goes a few pips above the shorter wick, and our take profit is just above or below, as the case may be, of the longer wick here. Okay, so in terms of that, it's not a great setup because it's first of all running straight into traffic, and number two, a potential stop here, or rather, I just used a potential stop here above the IPB is very vulnerable, and there are reasons for that. Let me just go into that. Supreme Chaos already pointed this out, but I'm just going to reinstate this. It's one of those IPBs that are near big round numbers or near important price pivot zones rather than at such areas. And remember, we want to be very picky with our price action setups. IPB especially. Okay, we want them to be at important areas rather than near them. Do you see the importance here of the 1.6? And do you see the fact that the IPB isn't exactly off the 1.6 or at the 1.6? Notice this area here. Okay, notice this area here. Look what price is doing here. Does it have a great chance of hitting the 1.6 here, retesting the 1.6 here? I'm not going to bet on a break of 1.6 or a rebound of 1.6. I'm just going to say here that does price have a good chance of at least testing 1.6 again? Look what it's been doing throughout its time near the 1.6, coming back again and again, testing the 1.6, and it's doing the same thing here once again. No surprises, and it's just a live example of why we do not want our IPBs to be near big round numbers and important price pivot zones. Instead, we want them to be at these areas. Just a further query, Spooky asked later in the thread that does being inside bars invalidate inverted pin bars? The answer would be no. The bar does not get invalidated, but again, you just have to look at the story going on at the time. Basically being an inside bar takes a lot of the strength off the IPB. Now clearly, if this bar is an inside bar, it shows me that it's basically just an inside bar, not a pin bar. A pin bar has to be nice and long, the nose has to be long, protrudes nicely, and that is not to be here, and that is normally not to be when an inverted pin bar is an inside bar. And again, you always have that problem of the previous bar high sticking out of the IPB, and then price normally going on and testing that bar high, especially if it's touching an important area like this. So I think there are ample reasons here why this setup here is not A+. Not to say that it was totally untradeable. We still have a bearish close in this, and this still has that IPB look to it, but then again, there are enough reasons to pass in setups like these. Mind you, the fact that it's actually in a sideways market does not take any of its validity away. Again, just ask Jeru. IPBs in sideways market action are, they're just fantastic. And like I said, if this IPB here had closed, say here, and the high had protruded away into the 1.6 here, this would have been an A plus trade for me. The fact that price is basically going up and down here would not deter me from taking an IPB trade. Right, so that's it basically. Hope this video helps. Again, I just decided to do a video here because I do get a lot of questions regarding IPB setups in the Validaty and what makes a good IPB. So hopefully this video was useful.